Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. As always, please subscribe, do all that fancy stuff that I would greatly appreciate you doing, just so the channel can grow, and honestly just so that other people can see kind of the running world and just a glimpse of it at least, and just some helpful advice hopefully. But yeah, I would also personally really be grateful. Anyways, I'm going to jump into this video. This is something that I was just like, I should make a video on this, so I'm going to. I've heard a lot of different myths about runners, and as a runner, I'm going to debunk a few of them. So first of all, one of the biggest myths that I hear is that all runners get runner's high all the time. This is not true. Half of the time, and my father is also a runner, so anyone can ask him in the comments too, but we don't always get runner's highs. Runner's highs are what I would describe as you feel like there is nothing pushing against you, but more so pushing you to run faster. Like there's nothing in your way to run as fast as you can, and just you can run forever, and you can run as fast as you can forever. You basically feel like a superhero for a limited amount of time. And this could actually last a while. It could last like 3 miles, but usually from what I've experienced, it's not. It's like one. It's not that terribly long. So yeah. Not every runner gets a runner's high. I know some people who they don't get runner's highs. They just hate running, but they do it because why not? But yeah, so that's one myth. Another myth is that it's going to ruin your knees and your joints and all that. I recently ran an ultramarathon, and weirdly enough, the worst part about it was my feet and my toes and getting blisters, which was mostly due to the fact that my shoes are about a year and 3 months old. Which they are great running shoes. But yeah, so it doesn't really, obviously nutrition plays a huge part in it, and being knowledgeable about how you're running and the way you run, your pace, all of that plays an important role in it, in making sure you have proper footwear. But yeah, that's kind of a myth. Personally, when I don't run as much, I start to notice my knees a little bit more, and when I do run more, they seem totally fine. Yeah, my knees and joints they're totally good. And I actually had a knee injury back in November, and running really, after I was said I could run again, totally was fine. Next, you should stretch before you run. This is really depends on the runner. My dad stretches before he runs. I just go. I just run. I stretch. I warm up the first mile to 2 miles when I'm running. I don't even really think about speed or anything like that unless it's a race. And then it's a bit of a different mind frame. But I might make another video on that later. But I usually just stretch afterwards. Stretching is very, very important, though, as a runner. You need to make sure that you're integrating stretching if you're a runner or trying to become a runner. And most runners will know that you do need to stretch, and how important that is just for your muscles. Next, and my dad does actually, he does stretch before he runs. Next is runners don't walk. This really depends, and this is something that I'm finding out a lot more about just the different runners. For me, if I'm going anywhere between 5 miles to, let's say, well, for right now, 31 miles, because that's the last longest amount of running that I've done, I will run, typically, the entire thing, besides stopping for traffic light, like a stoplight, any type of, trying to get food out of the backpack, just things that are simple, using the restroom, things that are just like come to your mind that are simple. Yes, you stop for those, obviously. But I do know that some people do walk. For instance, if my husband runs, he will walk some of it, and I tell him to because that way he's getting used to running. He's not really a runner, though. Um, but that really also just depends on the person. And then next, you're not a runner unless you run this pace or this distance. That's not really true. And I want to add into that everyone thinks that runners run every single day. That's not true either. It's kind of just the same thing as working out. Do you work out every single day? Usually not every... Most people do not actually work out every single day. There's things called recovery days and things called rest days and vacations and just things where you just don't. And that's okay. And also, the spice of life is really nice, so integrating different things. I actually like biking a lot, especially when the temperature is warm outside. Oh, it's great. It's great. Swimming a lot, hiking. So I don't run every single day. I typically run anywhere between 4 to 6 days on a good week and anywhere between 2 and 5 days on a bad week. So varies pretty much. Not a specific thing at all. And then the next thing, you're not a runner unless you race. So I am starting to do races now. I have done 2 currently, but I'm going to start doing a lot more. But you can run and not do races. My dad's going to be doing a race coming up, but he hasn't really done any races besides when he was like my age and younger. So like a few decades. But yeah, so those were just the most common ones. What I'm finding about especially ultramarathon running, which I've been looking into, is you walk and you stop and you like rest for like a second when you're running 30 plus, 60 plus, 100 miles. You're not running the entire time. There are people who have consecutively done that, and I had the highest respect for them. But yes. Hopefully you enjoyed some of these myths that I debunked. There are some things that are very true, like having really good running shoes. Don't get blisters on your feet. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this, and please leave comments, anything that you would like to hear or know. And also, if you want me to try out some type of running, I'm probably not going to change my running up for anyone except for myself. But if you have any tips or tricks, I would be glad to listen. I welcome them. Anyways, enough of me rambling about. You guys have a fantastic night, and I'll catch you guys later.